Look at the Rome Mr. Peter Obi went to. Is it prayer that they used to build Rome? They collected taxes.
Okotoligba bịakwa ka ifu ka esi wee na-adọ Peter Obi na nwunye vam dịka ha ga Rome wee jesi na fa na-ekpetere Naijiria ekpere mara ama na ọtụtụ abalị gara aga ebe mkpụrụ ụbọchị 3 ma 4 gara aga ka anyị pụtafụ n'iru akwụkwọ ebe ụfọdụ na-asị ka efe Peter Obi kwuru ka efe Peter Obi kwuru ekwekwa aka ka ifuzie ka Peter Obi depụtara ozi wee sị na ọ ga na be Pope Leo na ọ ga ka o jee wolu Naijiria tii n'aka Chineke nna ya ọ gara ikpe ekpere kemgbe ahụ ya bụ ife wee na-efegharị ụfọdụ na-asị ya na ezigbote onye ndu nwere bụ ndị ọ ga-achị n'obi ịmụdị ihe ahụ ụfọdụ na-asị ifugo na Peter Obi na Naijiria dị ya n'obi nke ọzọ ebe ụfọdụ na-asị na ekpere a nwerozi ife ọ ga-agbanwe na Naijiria kịta na Naijiria gafee n'ihe ekpere ọnya ka nnọzikwa na-awagharị n'iru akwụkwọ wee pụtazie wee fụ ebe ndị Arise News nọzi wee na-ekwu ihe gbasara ya bụ kelafia njem Peter Obi gara ebe ahụ nya ka Rufai Oseni pụta wee kwuo hoha na ọ bụrụkwa ekpere ka ndị Rome ji wee nọlụ ebe fa nọ kịta na fa na-anụ ụtụ isi ịghọtago nya na Peter Obi pụtasị na ojelu Rome jee kpee ekpere na ya bụ ife adọrọ mana o kwesị ọ dịrị ịga ebe a ọ bụgodị na ọ ga-aya asị na na o je ekpere Naijiria ekpere achọrọ m ịtụfu oge ga-achọ m ka ị gee ntị maka nke bụ eziokwu ugbu echerekwa m na ekpere nwee ife oge emezi Naijiria kịta ama na ụfọdụ ụzọ ga-asị na aja o nwere ife oge emegwuzi na-abụrọ ime ka ndị ọchịchị anyị gbanwee ọha ka anya bụ na Naijiria dị mma kịta bụ n'aka ndị ọchịchị ọ ga-asakwuo karịa ka ọ dị kịta n'aka fa ka ọ dị nya ọ bụgo na ibido kịta mebe alalụ nwanne echi o nwere ife ọ na-eke ịgbanwe na ọ bụ na ndị nọ n'isi na-achị ya bụ ọchịchị n'anya ya bụ ụgbọ bụ anyị wee na-aga na famari ife na-eme nwere ka oge si dị mma getọpụnụ ntịkụ n'ife okwu.
Look at the Rome Mr. Peter Obi went to. Is it prayer that they used to build Rome? They collected taxes, sales taxes and the likes.
You pay taxes?
No, they collected taxes. You don't pay for it. You don't pay for it every month. Do you know how much you remove from your deducted pay every that we all pay here?
No.
So they pay sales taxes and everything. They have institutions that work, that make the place work. They didn't say because it's Rome, Holy See, oh, God from heaven make Rome work. No.
Well, we'll take our next story from Rome, where former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, alongside his wife, Margaret Obi, met with His Holiness, Pope Leo XIV. Peter Obi said he traveled to Rome after a trip to the United States with the goal of praying for Nigeria's peace, unity, and renewal. Obi made the comments in a post on X, saying that he brought Nigeria's challenges before God during a spiritual pilgrimage. He wrote on X, and I'll read his post in part. He wrote, At St. Peter's, we were privileged to be received in audience by His Holiness, Pope Leo XIV, to whom we humbly appealed for prayers for our beloved country, Nigeria. Along the way, we met several Nigerian pilgrims, men and women of faith, whose faces shone with quiet hope. Together, we renewed our trust in God's divine mercy and in the promise of a renewed and better Nigeria. Well, online reactions have been mixed, with some users noting that taking Nigeria's situation to God seems like the best option after exhausting all human efforts. However, observers highlighted Peter Obi's emphasis that faith should inspire action, with every citizen playing their part towards improving the state of the nation. And I'll take some reactions before I come to you, Vimbai. And this person wrote, truly, Nigeria's problem isn't that Nigerians haven't prayed enough, but it's more of not putting the interests of the country first. If we like, let's pray from now till 1 million years without doing the right thing for our country. Our country won't change. The election period will soon be here. Let's make the right call. Hashtag God bless Nigeria. Another ex-user wrote, whether I agree or not about taking Nigeria's matter to God, I think as a nation, we must first take the matter into our own hands, because even the Bible said the violent ones take at it by force until we do our part to take this nation from political vampires, looters and thieves. God is not going to come down to help. And I think that is a valid point, Vimbai. But in the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived Rome, Italy, to participate in the Aquaba process heads of state and government level meeting focused on West Africa's security crisis. The meeting, beginning October 14th, is a counter-terrorism initiative launched by King Abdullah II of Jordan in 2015 and co-chaired by Jordan and the Italian government. Presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga said the summit will bring together heads of state, senior intelligence and military officials from African countries and representatives of intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations to discuss evolving security challenges, including expansion of terrorist networks, the crime-terror nexus, and overlap between land-based terrorism in the Sahel and maritime piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. Vimbai, I'd like for you to juxtapose both stories. Here, on one hand, we see Peter Obi in Rome putting Nigeria into God's hands, praying for Nigeria. And then on the other hand, we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Rome as well, engaging with the Italian government over terrorism, insecurity. All of these issues are brought in the front burner for you to discuss right now?
That's a busy time in Rome, certainly.
I'll come sit with you.
Fantastic. So, I mean, it's a busy time in Rome. Where do I begin? Let me begin from the fact that the first thing that brought me to Nigeria when I first came to this country many years ago was actually church. I came here to attend a church, to attend some prayer services and so forth. And I bring this to the discussion because I want to highlight the fact that I don't think Nigeria has a shortage of prayers or a shortage of the presence of God. I don't think it's always honorable for people who want to go on pilgrimages and pray around the world where they feel closest to God and where they feel God can hear them the loudest. Absolutely fine. But here in Nigeria, we do not have a shortage of God. But the question is, when we preach about the Bible and all of these things, how many people are actually taking all of those lessons and, all of those scriptures that we are supposed to live by? How many people are living by them? So I think that in the case of, Mr. Peter Obi and his beautiful wife, I think it's a noble cause for them to embark on this journey. But I think Nigerians right now want to hear their proposed solutions as an opposition in waiting, if I may call it that. Political season has heated up and the questions continue to spring up. We're here talking about presidential clemency and pardons. We're talking about the screening of a new INEC chair. We're talking about movements happening with political permutations by the day. There's a lot of uncertainty with the economy. Insecurity is biting. So as much as this is a noble trip and as a private citizen, he's fully entitled to do so, I think what Nigerians really want to hear from potential leaders right now are proposed solutions. Now, Peter Obi has been consistent in always, adding his voice of opposition, his voice of dissent to various things. But I think where it lacks is that people want to know critically, besides being able to point out where there may be some weaknesses in what the government is doing, what are the proposed solutions and what's the way forward? And I think it becomes concerning when our way forward is to take Nigeria to God, which is in itself not a bad thing. However, let's get some more sort of empirical ideas on the ground. Now, with the president in Rome as well discussing insecurity, I mean, we're going to continue discussing insecurity for as long as it's a regional issue. And I think that's why, it's become more imperative to engage on an international, even beyond a regional level, on an international level, to try and see how we can find some sort of solution, sustainable solution to the crisis that we have going on in the Sahel. We've spoken so many times about the pressure points, whether it be, what happened from the fallout in Libya, whether it be what happens from Sudan, whether it be, the radicalization, the extremism, whether it's poverty, whether the conversation has been had so many times. Right. The question is, what are the new conversations the president will be having in Rome? What are the new solutions? Because it's no longer enough for us to continue to gather for these talk shops. We've hosted ECOWAS security summits here in Nigeria, but we're not seeing anything coming out of it. And I think it's now time for us to start seeing some more innovative interventions. As much as our armed forces are working, let's start to see more innovation.
Right, quick comment and then
quick comment. With due respect, I don't have anything against prayer. I like prayer. But I also like common sense. And I think it's misplaced to go to Rome and say, pray for Nigeria. Pray for Nigeria where? Have they not prayed enough? Is God knows when they've been praying for Nigeria. Look at the Rome Mr. Peter Obi went to. Is it prayer that they used to build Rome? They collected taxes, sales taxes and the likes.
You pay taxes?
No, they collected taxes. You don't pay for you don't pay for you every month. Do you know how much they remove from your deducted pay every that we all pay here? No. So they pay sales taxes and everything. They have institutions that work, that make the place work. They didn't say because it's Rome, Holy See, oh, God from heaven make Rome work. No. They don't pray to make it work. They clean their streets. They make it work. So enough of all this prayer. If in Rome, it is leadership that works there. They have departments of government. Why can't our department work? But when you ask questions about accountability here, I'm not going there. I'm not talking. Move on.
Just per kilometer.
I didn't see anything. I'm not saying anything.
Kedu ihe iche n'ife anụnwa ha kwuru ebe a? Ọ dị ka ife Peter Obi mee ọ dị njọ ka ị ga-asị na ọ dị mma. N'uche nke m, ọkwa n'ife onye kwenyere na ya ka ọ na-eme. N'uche Peter Obi, o kwenyere na ekpere ga-azọpụta Nigeria. Ọ bụrụ ife ọjọọ na ọ ga-ajeje kpee ekpere, mana nke bụ eziokwu atụghị asị na ịgwa nwa ya eziokwu nya. Ọ bụrụ ihe ọjọọ na ọ ga-aje ti Nigeria n'aka Chineke, ọ bụghị ajọ ihe, mana nke bụ eziokwu atọbụtọ si wepụ anyị. Lukwa nwanne echi ala olololo a ga-azọpụta Nigeria. Ọ bụ mgbe ndị na-achị Nigeria bido mebe ife ọma chegharịa ma chiganata, ọ mgbe aka ife ga-alụ ọrụ. Ekwube anyị nwere ọtụtụ ndị isi ụka na be anyị ka ịkpata na fe ekpepụtabụrụ na Nigeria ka ị ga-asị na obi fe adịrị ọcha na ịkpata na ha na-ekpe na ọ dịka na-awụsa mmiri na okwute. Na nke bụ eziokwu na ịjụọ m, echeghị m na Nigeria bụ ekpere ga-azọpụta ya. Gbasa ozi ka ndị ọzọ n'anya. Daalụkwanụ.